What is it? It's a clothesline. Oh my gosh. You put him up against the turnbuckle, putting all his weight into it. All 20 pounds. Tremendous. Oh, and then yank back.
Oh, here with me is Beautiful Beefcake. Beautiful, what words do you have to say about this match? Roughouse is trying to work out of it.
No! Come on, Roughouse!
But no.
How many minutes time?
Oh, Roughouse has the Boston Crab.
No!
If Crusher can grab onto that, comes Dynamite Dude. Pounding away on Ace. Ace did. And now, Dynamite Dude. And now Ace, pounding away on Power Driver Peterson. By Power Driver Peterson on Ace. And oh, there goes the body slam. Well, Dynamite Dude really fired up in another one. And a punch right into the eyes. Ring again. Oh, and he chokes him on the rope.
Oh, big guy, I can pick him up. Throw him at
And Crusher has a foreign object in there. Beating everybody up.
Oh, yeah.
Trip to Broadway. Conductor David Mission. Right.
Oh, and now these two are wrestling here are two brothers. These are clothesline. Oh, it's a knee to the midsection. Because I can't stand that Peterson. Him and his big mouth. You heard him. You have a match against him coming up.
I'll take care of him, but I want to know why you want to come on my side.
Because there's Peterson punching Mr. X in the back.
I had my foot on a ring. I had my foot on a rope. He just...
There's a 3 count! And Pink Peterson loses the match! And the winner, Mr. X! Mr. X is the winner! He throws me against the ropes. What is it? It's a clothesline! Oh my gosh, you put him up against the turnbuckle, putting all his weight into it. All 20 pounds. Tremendous. Oh, and then yank back.
Oh, here with me is Beautiful Beefcake. Beautiful, what words do you have to say about this match? Roughouse is trying to work out of it.
No! Come on, Roughouse!
But no.
How many minutes time?
Oh, Roughouse has the Boston Crab. If Crusher can grab onto that, comes Dynamite Dude. Pounding away on Ace. Ace did.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Thursday night. I am Dixie Dave with my co-host Crusher Crossen, and we are live, and we have a new NWF World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, we do.
So, to start things off, well, before I get into this, maybe you should bring in the first comment.
Yeah, so let's get Gizmo's comment in right off the bat. He had it ready for us. And by the way, I'm Crusher Crossen. I don't know who Schmucker is, but Dave is not supposed to use that word, and I don't know why he did, but let me get this comment in. Gadget Gizmo. I don't know if this is Gizmo or because I know that
it's Gizmo right there.
It might be Damien. Oh no, he's got in parentheses Gizmo. Hey Crusher, great to have you back in the States. We all want to hear all about your adventure in Ireland, actually Northern Ireland, technically, even though I got an Ireland shirt. But we figured you would hold back till next week when Canary Kid will be on the show. Well, yes and no. I am going to hold back a little bit. I'm not going to show any of the training videos and stuff that we did at the training, where me and Canary did get in the ring as promised, and we did do our drop kicks. You know, I'll show you all about that. I think I might have a still of it in our, but I'm going to show you like a little bit of slideshow after the watch line of some of the pictures and stuff that I took while I was out there, of everything. So it'll be kind of fun. And so yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. And I'm kind of confused here, Sky Sports. You're saying, Crusher, we are all here, just can't get into our internet. So does that mean you can't see us? Or I'm thinking you're in the internet because I don't know how you would have got this comment in. Don't know what they mean. Unless they can't get into their accounts or something. That might be what it is.
Well, seeing that, you know, we brought in Gizmo's comment, why don't you regale us with some of your...
Well, first of all, it was fantastic. I mean, this is just, for me, with the history of the NWF and just the fact that I've never been to Europe. In the kayfabe world, I was, of course. I had a lot of title defenses there, but no, for all seriousness, I've never been to Europe, and to be able to go over there and see that part of the world was just amazing experience. I mean, the food, everything, just the culture, the whole 9 yards, and to learn the history of Ireland and Northern Ireland and what happened there. There's a lot of history there, and I had a great tour guide, I should say, and kayfabe with Keaton Whiteside, his father Darren, who picked me up at the train at their transit hub, Grand Central Station, I think, and he kind of gave me, you know, he just took a couple days off of work, and he was able to like really kind of host me, if you will, and getting me around. And we went up to his hometown where he was from, up north when I first got there. I got to see Carrickfergus Castle, which I got a little pamphlet on it, that castle right there, and it's pretty cool. And a lot of cool things happened. Like when I went to that hometown, when I got there, Darren said, Crusher, why don't you bring the belt? You know, I had everything with me. I had all my luggage. So I couldn't check in the hotel right away. And he goes, why don't you bring the belt along? And I'm thinking, we're going to go look at the castle and stuff. And remember, bring the belt? So what's going on here? I said, really? And he's like, yeah, bring it. And I thought maybe he just wanted a picture by the ocean or something with it, which we did. But no, the reason is he had it set up in the with the city council to get a nice tour of the city, and I got to go to the mayor's parlor and sign the ledger book as a guest, and they presented me with a plaque and got a picture with the belt with the one of the councilor members. It was a cool experience on that. That was just the first day, Dave.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Ricky right away until the next day, but Canary Kid, but John McCann, the other the two guys that I kind of really first met besides Keaton. Keaton was actually in there too, but in the mix. And I did see Keaton the first day as well. But I seen John McCann. He was nearby, and he says, Crusher, I'm close. I can spend some time right now. Let's get together. He just didn't want to wait. He was going to come Friday with Ricky, but he didn't want to wait. So it was great to see John. John's a good guy. Very talented. These guys are so talented, all of them in the ring. But yeah, it was great. And then, here's the thing. It was great to be able to meet these people in person.
Right.
You know, when you see Canary Kid and Crusher Crossen on Forward, we're in character for the most part. And it's, you're seeing our character side. You see a little bit of us as the real deal, but a lot of it's character. But see, the real Sean Cross and the real Ricky Henry are very good friends, and to be able to meet each other first time in person was amazing. It's so cool to see somebody in person. Ricky's a lot taller than I thought he was. I actually have to look up to him by an inch or two. But he was. It was great to meet him, and John, and Keaton, and Darren, and Nathan Hoy, who runs the whole show. I mean, to meet these people, and then I don't want to leave out anybody. Mitch Baxter, who also is kind of the second-hand man there with Nathan, making things go on there and the technical side of things. And then all the wrestlers, from DD Crooks to Sage to Half Down to Chris Mercer, Ben Nelson. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and that of all these guys, to be able to meet them in person was fantastic. And they really treated me with open arms and made me feel very, very welcomed. After the match, which we'll get into and we'll talk about that, but after the match, I actually was able to go into the training, to one of their training sessions on Monday. And I knew I'd be most likely spending time with the kids because they do that first, which I did. I got in there and with Keaton and the rest of them and went over some basic stuff. Nathan had me show him what kind of things we went over back in the day, and I did. It was great to be in the ring again, Dave. I mean, that was just fantastic. And what I didn't know I was going to do is Nathan brought me up again with the adults as well, with Ricky and all of them, and to have to go over some things with them. Now, listen, guys, I'm not going to even pretend here. They are so far beyond me. Like, they are well advanced. But I mean, Nathan still wanted me to show him some things, and I showed them some stuff that they hadn't seen. And so it was fun to be able to go over that with them and, just see how they perform. And it was great. We had a great session, and it was really good to get in the ring and interact. And for those of you wondering, can Crusher Crossen still do the drop kick? I can answer that for you. Yes, he can. And I did it a number of times, and it was great. And just getting in the ring again brings back a lot of memories for me, all those years ago, back in the day. It was fantastic. So that's all I can say. Just absolutely amazing. Now the title match, our championship match was moved to the main event. So it was scheduled to be the intermission match, the one before intermission. And they decided the day we got in, they're moving it to the main event. So we had the main event. And as it is, Dave, when you're main event, you really gotta pull it through. Like, you gotta give them a match that's main event worthy.
Yeah.
So the pressure was all on, right? And I'll tell you this much: those two young men. I keep saying kids, and I gotta stop that because they're about to be adults. They are so talented, and they not only performed and pulled it through, but they gave them a match that Keaton claims is one of the best matches that he's seen in a long time. So
right,
more
determination.
Yeah, it was great. And I don't know if you guys seen the podcast we did the night before from the dojo with Ben and Ricky. That was such an amazing segment. First of all, we had Nathan Hoy and John McCann on for the first part, which was great to hear from them too. But I'll tell you something, Ben and Ricky, they got into their characters to a pinnacle for that build up. And the whole handshake, we call it the handshake from hell, where I tried to make them shake hands, and they did, and Ben wouldn't let go, and then one thing led to another, and Ricky said, if you don't let go, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. That's exactly what happened. It went all to hell in a handbasket. You've seen it, right, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Table flipped over. Nathan comes running in. We had to try to separate them, and everybody's thinking, what the hell are we going to get in 24 hours? I'll tell you something. But you know what? They delivered quite well. And, Canary Kid, he actually did what I was trying to convey to him all those shows. He actually went in and did the right thing. Yeah. And he's the world champ.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's bad, but don't take nothing about Ben Nelson. I hate to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off. We always talk about Ricky, right? But we got to remember that it takes two people to put on a match like they did. And Ben Nelson really, really came through, man. He performed amazingly. So I got to say, and go ahead, Dave. I cut you off a number of times. I can talk.
Well, no, I was just saying, I called it that Ricky would win. Congratulations, Ricky. We'll talk soon. But, from what I saw, everything was It looked like it was a really good trip. Looked like it was loads of fun.
Oh, you know, they're asking me to come back again, and Nathan says this time you work a match, Crusher. He's putting the bug in my ear.
Oh, you've always had that bug. I mean,
Yeah, I have. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
mean, okay, Crusher, we're both in our 50s. You know, we both realize our best days are behind us.
Right.
But we both also know a wrestler is never truly retired until he's 6 foot under.
That's true. And you know, these guys are young now, but they'll realize that when they get our age, they'll be thinking the same way we are. You know?
Yep.
But I'll tell you something, when I got in the ring and bounced around a bit and did a few things, all of them, John McCann especially, and Ricky and all of them said, Crusher, you can still go. You can still go, they were telling me, you know.
Yep.
So that's good to hear that from guys that are better than you, to be able to tell you that, and you hear that. Because
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, guys, I mean, I'm not in character right now. Ricky Henry and John McCann and all these guys and the whole roster, they're miles above me. Ricky hit a drop kick, you guys, that I'm so proud to talk about. He hit a drop. Ben came off the second rope, and Ricky
Yep.
drop kicked him from the mat. You know how hard that is? I don't think I've ever seen that done.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, being cutting edge. The height he had to get, the angle, having to go up at an angle because Ben's coming down. I mean, and Ben sold it like a champ.
Yep.
I mean, this is just fantastic. The whole match. And the crowd was actually chanting, that was awesome, after the guys were in the back dressing room. They were still chanting.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an excellent main event. And you guys have seen the rough footage of Keaton that Keaton recorded.
Right.
When we get to Forward next week, we're going to have the professional edited version from Mitch Baxter at NIPW with the commentating and everything. So
Right.
we'll be able. That's what Ricky and I will be watching next in a week from tomorrow. So that'll be much better. And you know, I asked Ricky, just give you guys a heads up. I said, Ricky, how do you want to do it next week? You know, we always talk like, you know, where are we going to go, right? Because we're usually in character, right?
Right.
He says, let's do it. Let's not go in character. Let's just celebrate the belt and celebrate the match and everything. And let's just be ourselves for this one. So you'll see Ricky Henry and Sean Crossen next week. We might do a little character at the beginning when he does his introductions because that's his favorite part. But
Right.
we'll see if he calls me Schmucker or not. That's yet to be. We'll see what he does. But I am just so, Dave, I am so proud of them guys, both him and Ben, but especially Ricky because he won it. And I don't know if you guys have seen the promos he's been cutting. He's been doing some stuff on social media. He really wants to make that championship reign has mean something for us. He wants to live up to the expectations we set back in the day. This is his words. So I know that he will deliver for us. I'm not even worried about that. So I know that Canary's going to do what he can.
All I'm going to say in that respect is, and this is Dave talking to Ricky, not Dixie Dave talking to Canary. Ricky, carry that thing with pride. You know, you're now one of 5 people who's actually had that title in their hands.
That specific one, yeah, the blue one. It's not a, and we crafted a belt specifically for them. We made one modification, you guys, on the new version they have. You know, it's only tradition that we do that, Dave, because the NWF Blue World title had changed forms different years, right? The main plate changed looks and stuff. So we're entitled to do that.
Right.
And the change we made is
a very minor modification.
It's very minor. You know, in the side plates it had USA, Canada, USSR, and Japan. Yeah, show them, Dave.
Okay. This is the NWF title as it sat up until
a week ago.
Yeah. What happened is, let me make sure I got it clear. This plate, this line right here no longer exists.
USSR is no longer.
the company or the country is no longer the United Soviet. So what Crusher in his infinite wisdom did, seeing that the belt is over in Europe now and is now truly a world title, that plate now says Europe.
As it should.
Correct.
And it's in the European region right now. Everybody's saying, like, well, what makes this a world title? Why do you consider the NWF a world title? Like, why can't there be other world titles? If we're going to go by old school technique and old school style and kind of rules of that, to be a world championship means you cannot have the title tied to any one organization. To be a world title, you have, like, think of the NWA. It was an alliance of leagues. To be a world title, it has to be able to be defended, won or lost, anywhere in the world, in or out of your promotion. So all these other championships that might be out there and all these other indie feds, they're not world titles technically because they cannot lose them outside the promotion. It has to stay within that promotion. So this is what classifies the NWF world title as a world title.
And not only that, but a lot of times, say, like your independent titles that are world titles are defended strictly in that one little territory, in the little area where that title means something.
Exactly.
From what I've already heard, I'm gonna spill some kayfabe. Next week Ricky's on the show. After that, Ricky's taking off and doing a tour.
Yeah, he's going to Canada, whether he defends the title or not, because they didn't know he had the belt.
Right.
He just won it. But he'll actually be having the belt with him though as he goes. So we'll see. Ricky's a salesman. He's a pitch man. If he can get into somebody's ear to do it, he'll make it happen if he can. He'll do what he can. I'm not worried about Ricky. If he can make it happen, he will. He has to work it out with the promotion, and everything, but
right.
We'll see. But it'll be fun to see what happens. And then when he comes back, of course, he goes to other places too. He goes to Portugal. He goes to, different around Europe. I know we've been talking too a lot about Mitch the Kid possibly getting a shot for this belt. So there could be very much a Full Tilt Wrestling connection there where we get Canary Kid against Mitch the Kid. I'd love to see it. I almost want to fly over to see that if that happened.
And you say Nathan's got all kinds of contacts.
Well, they all have, in Europe there, they have some working affiliations with different places, like Titanic and
right.
Portugal and everything.
The NWF title is no longer, the NWF may have folded years ago, but the world title is kind of becoming the title that ties a bunch of organizations together.
Yeah, I always refer to it as an indie world championship, meaning it's a world title for indie federations that can cross-pollinate.
Right.
So in other words, as they make relationships and get working things going, that title then gets represented all over. That's the whole idea. Let me get a couple comments in here.
Yeah, we've been running our mouth for a while now.
Gadget Gizmo says, we all love the handshake. Both wrestlers towered over you, Crusher. I see you needed help holding them back. We all loved it. Yeah, I personally think that was Ben and Ricky's best performance in the promo ever for both of them, especially with Ricky. I think, Ricky's done some good stuff promo-wise, but boy,
right.
his delivery on that handshake after that went to hell, that was, you couldn't have done it. You couldn't have wrote that up any better.
Well, what I enjoyed is after the match, the only thing I would have scripted differently with the ending of that.
Are you talking about the match or the handshake?
The match.
Okay, I was talking about the handshake.
Yeah. But I almost enjoyed the ending of the match, after the match was over, better than the handshake from hell. Just the nonverbal communication between Ricky and Ben.
Right. And just so you guys know, I don't know if Ben even wants me to say this. I don't think he'll mind. But Ben was in tears after that match in the back. He wasn't in tears because he lost. He was in tears because he was happy.
Right.
He was happy for Ricky. He's happy that he knew he put on the best match of his life so far. And that's pretty special, you know?
You know, both those kids, you know, sorry to use the term Ricky and Ben, but when you reach our age, you call everybody younger than you kids.
I know. That's just a metaphor.
You know, but those two kids, they're going places.
Yeah, they certainly have the ability to, that's for sure. You know, Ben wants to get over to the United States. He's telling me he really wants to get over here, try to make it in the indie scene over here, and more job opportunities too for what he's going to college for. So,
you know,
all of it.
Their only limitations are themselves.
I've always said that. I've always preached that. You know, if you start, and I think Ricky's doing better with that. You know, Ricky used to doubt himself on things. He started to maybe listen to these people, saying he's too small and this and that. But I think he's even he is starting to realize that he has more potential than he probably realizes.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he did the match right, you know, a little kayfabe talk, he's going to be difficult as hell to beat.
Yeah.
So there's that. Here's another comment from Sky Sports Video News. We all want to know your 5,000-mile trip went, and I'm going to talk about it as we go. Now, we're going to get going on the watch line, because I know guys are waiting to see this watch line get started. Now, guys, Dave, we got to do our disclaimer. And we're going back to the garage. What we just seen in that championship match was high caliber, high quality wrestling. What we're going to see today on this watch along is not.
It's a bunch of kids having fun together.
Bunch of kids having fun, learning very slowly. I mean, the wrestling here is going to be rough and tumble. It's not going to be picture. Of course, old school never was crisp, but it's not going to be clean. There's going to be some rough spots, especially with the littler kids. They're going to be struggling and stuff, but we're learning, guys. And the ring itself, we're starting to, the ropes are all working and functioning. It's just the mat itself is a hard ass platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get started with this. We'll get going on the watch line and we'll keep chatting away. And then I got a little slide presentation after this watch line to show you some pictures and stills from and I'll talk all about how it went over there and everything. So let's get started on the watch line. But before I do, Dave forgot to remind me, we need to show you what's coming up on the Video Network next. So let's watch that quick and then we'll get into the watch line.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like those guys one bit. I don't mind saying those guys make me sick to my stomach. I mean, this ain't little kids and chocolate chip cookies. This is professional wrestling. The ninja.
They'll do anything they have to win, and they're coming after our belts.
Him down for his match that he stuck his big mouth out. He can put together a team to take on the Studs, and the Studs cannot defeat him. They will be barred. Irish whip into the ropes, and over he goes! Crusher Crossen, right on his back.
I'll team up with Crusher Crossen, Invader 1, Dixie Dave, White Ninja, it don't matter. These guys, I'm gonna get them.
Here they go. Ring the bell. Oh, you can hear it too. Oh. Hands off him. They're not supposed to be touching the refs at all. Standing clothesline. Think you're funny? Non-title, huh? Well, Kelsey, the point of the matter is, you're just scared to put up that line. You put up once because you had to. That's it. I haven't seen no title shots yet. Double crisscross. They're crisscrossing. Double. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. What action? What's this? Oh, a double veal throw. Holy cows, ladies and gentlemen. What action? Holy. Oh, right into the knee. Did you see that? He hit that one. Oh, elbow drop by Austin. One of the two. Hear the crowd out there. Nice snapmare, by the way. And it's not going to happen, Stenerson. And another thing, the $2,000 is going to be mine. You better have it, and I don't want no checks. Cash on hand.
Oh, it means...
Oh, through Crossen right on top of Taylor, and the referee still counted it. Oh, inverted body vice. They threw Taylor out of the ring like a bad habit. He's down. He's not getting up. Oh, there comes Luscious Larry. Luscious Larry.
chasing him right out of the ring. He's gonna, oh, he blocked it. Luscious Larry slams Taylor. Holy cows.
This is funny. We come in, everybody knows we're going to be the champions of the future. Everybody knows we're the ones to look out for. We get put in with a couple of has-beens.
All right, so there is the next one coming up on the Video Network on June 15th, Studio Taping 100 out in Dayton. I seen you in there, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dixie Dave on the card. And you see that rarity of Crusher Crossen with Pretty Boy Taylor as a team. You'll never see that again.
No.
That was like just a one-off. That was the storyline was they forced us to team up to go against that unknown studs. That was kind of one of those NCWA merger matches.
And, you know, speaking of Pretty Boy, you know, we were talking about something earlier, Crusher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pretty Boy, I'm calling you out on something. If you actually meant your apology, come on the show again.
Yeah, I'd love to have Steve on again. I'd love to talk to him.
You know,
we just can't seem to get him to come on anymore, though.
Nope. Ever since the Hall of Fame inductions happened, Pretty Boy hasn't even commented on things.
You know, I was asked about that with Keaton on his show about my feelings towards Steve Engstrom because, you know, Keaton read the book and watched the documentary. He knows the whole story.
Right.
And he was like, you know, and so he's like, you know, how did you feel about being, you know, somebody you trusted betray you like that? And that's what it was. It was an act of betrayal.
Yep.
And, you know, I got mixed feelings with Steve. I had some of my best matches with him. He was like a brother to me, and I trusted him. 3 things. And the biggest is I trusted him.
Yep.
And when he turned his back on me and went to Larry, the trust was gone. And I didn't think I'd ever talk to him again. But you know, he did apologize to me, and I accept his apology. But I know this: a lot of the guys on the show, I'm going to say this, yourself included.
Exactly. I'm gonna point out, bluntly say it. Crusher, I've told you this behind the scenes. I personally think his apology is bullshit. I think it was just a play for him to try and get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, you know, I could be. Yeah. I don't want to comment there because I don't know. But
nope, I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying, I'm calling it out. I think his apology was a ploy to try and hit the Hall of Fame. And seeing that it was our last public Hall of Fame voting, he feels his shot for the Hall of Fame was spoiled.
Yeah.
You know, because this year's Hall of Fame was Hall of Fame underdogs.
It was. And, you know, the problem, here's why, you know what, we're going to get the match. We're going to get the watch line going because people are wanting to see some wrestling, and we'll keep talking about this. Let me just get this started. And then I'm going to talk about that a little more. So let's get this thing going. Otherwise, we'll just keep chatting, Dave and I. We won't get to the damn show. All right, let me know if the audio is good, guys. I'm assuming it is, and you can still hear us. But back to the back to Pretty Boy. Now I want to get this out quick, Dave, before I forget. For Pretty Boy getting into the Hall of Fame, because of what he did. You know, when Ace was on here and he said, "Crusher, you know, we owe so much to you for what you gave us, right?"
Yeah.
And everything. And the opportunity that you have, not just for the fans, but for us. I mean, you gave us so much to remember. That's what we're talking about here. And when Steve turned his back on us and tried to go with Larry and undercut the league, that jeopardized all of that with all people like what Ace said. I mean, everybody, he didn't just turn his back on me, he turned his back on all of us.
Exactly.
And so because of that, and because we do fan voting, there's Crusher Crossen, promoter.
Yep.
Because he did that, a lot of people will not forgive and forget on that.
Nope.
And
included.
So I don't think he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame, even if he had another one. Even though he should be, because he was good.
I'll admit, he was good.
But it's kind of like, what is it? The Pete Rose of baseball? Isn't that what we said, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah, he did something dumb, and he's paying the price.
Yep. And Pretty boy, Steve, this is directed at you. The comments I made are the opinion of me and me only. I'm only speaking for myself.
We have rock and
I'm
roll
not speaking for
Reinholds.
Crusher.
Yeah.
I'm not
We
speaking for
have
any of the other guys.
Chris.
I'm speaking for me, so if you got any heat with it, I'm not a hard guy to find online.
No, you're not, Dave.
Rock and
You're
roll.
not hard to find, that's for
Okay,
sure.
there
You're on
you heard the
Facebook
bell.
and everything.
Okay.
I'm on
Now they
Facebook.
line
I'm on
up
Insta. You know.
Holding shoulders.
I'll just like give you guys a heads up here. So the timer going, that was just an idea I had. I wanted to always have the running clock going. I wish I wouldn't have done that. We don't need that.
Exactly what he wanted.
But just
Not
my thinking
exactly
back
what
then.
he got.
Yeah.
And Rock and Roll Reinholds against, what
jumps
was
on
it?
the
I think it's just
arm of
Troy
Rock and
Bunis.
Roll.
Or no,
Reinholds.
Brian Bunis. Younger brother of Bunis Beefcake. But these are lightweights. They're not quite there yet. I mean, they're like something like that, a clothesline. Obviously not doing the proper back bump, but notice the bottom of everybody's socks, because we all wore socks in the garage, and that garage floor is dirty as hell. If you look at everybody's bottoms of their feet, they're just like black. Can you imagine the moms? And they must have been pissed. Doing the laundry, like, what are you? You're ruining these socks. Keep your shoes on.
Can't wear the shoes in the ring.
I believe that's Troy Dazowski, one of the Super D's reffing. This is just a glitch in the tape. It'll clear up in a second. By the way, guys, I want to say this quick. Project Starlight is released. All my restorations eventually here going forward are going to be so much better.
Yeah.
Like it's going to get like something like this will clean up even better than it is right now. I can't wait to start showing you guys that. It takes forever to fix a to do a 10-minute match takes about 18 hours to encode for one 10-minute match.
Right.
Think about that.
Let's see
Yeah.
what is going on.
You know, sorry I didn't clear my little rant there.
Nah, I know you wanted to get that off your chest.
Rock and roll. Hits a head
That's why I let you go with it.
rock and roll.
You know, you knew it was eventually going to come out, but
He is coming back with a
Yeah, so
shoulder of
Sports Talk 117 says, Crusher, how did you get those bruises on your forehead? Was that from Ricky's dropkick? You know,
what's he gonna do?
the forehead, John says, you look like, John McCann looked at me at training on Monday, goes, what happened to your forehead, Crusher? You look like Abdullah the Butcher. And it did. It was more prominent.
I guess he did get hit. Didn't look
I don't know where that came from. All I know is it came from the match, but I don't know when. I don't know what happened in the match. It had to be
out of that one.
when Ricky either clotheslined me or when Ben landed on me,
yep.
because those are the only two times I got hit in the match. But it happened in the match.
He has up his
That's all I can tell you.
sleeve now.
The bruise on my arm, I said I got a story there, or is it this arm? See the
Yeah.
nice little, woo, see the nice little
Let's see what
mark there? And by the way, you should have said Ben and Ricky both had marks all over themselves. This is nothing compared to what they look like after that match. I don't know where this came from, honestly. I know it came from the training on Monday, though. I don't know what I did. I didn't even know I had that until I seen it in the mirror.
Yep.
Doesn't hurt, but I don't know where it would have come from. I don't think it was Ricky's dropkick. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I was in the ring with a lot of them. I was in the ring with Ben. I was in the ring with John McCann. You know, doing stuff with them. So could have been any one of them.
Rock and roll. Banging the chairs. And the
But it was great doing the training session with him. I really enjoyed that. Nathan. One thing about Nathan Hoy, he really makes you feel welcomed, and he's so generous. I tried to get him lunch a couple times, and he insisted he paid for it. Yeah, he wouldn't even let me. So it's like I couldn't get him. He's one of those kind of guys that just will not let you pay. And not that I expected it. It just was very generous.
You know, he is very appreciative of being able to carry on our lineage.
Yeah, and I think he appreciates the fact that we do forward and we give Ricky an opportunity to come on there as well, help him. And then they really appreciate the fact that we get NIPW's name in the United States.
Right.
They like that as well. So Rock and Roll won it. That was a rough match, guys, I gotta say. Everybody's at different levels when it comes to the kids. Some kids are better than others. You'll see some of these other matches coming up. Let's see what's next here. This is promoter Crusher talking.
Rock and Roll Reinhold's pin.
No, this is Sean Crossen.
Oh yeah,
He was the
Sean
winner of the
Crossen.
match with 4 minutes and 23 seconds into the whole thing. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready for the next match. Roughouse Roberts to go against Crusher Crossen. Now, I tell you,
Oh, this ought to be a good one.
ought to be
Roberts and
one heck of a
Crusher.
match. These two have been at each other
Roughhouse is one of the few wrestlers, Dave, that
This is world
if we
war
actually got in a
for
fight,
Crusher.
I'd have my
Let's go
hands
join
full.
that matchup now
Yep.
at the ring
He
for
was
the
a tough kid.
introduction.
NWF with more action. Now,
And I do see a comment that came in.
Roberts
Let's see.
versus Crusher.
You could have got the bruises at the handshake when you pulled. You know what? That's probably where it been. Because I was saying, Ben, God, I was having a hard time holding you. Because I remember I had Ben's arms hooked.
Yep.
And he was like a bull. And I was really having to pull him back. You're right. That's probably where that came from. I never even thought of that. Good catch, Gizmo. Because I don't know what else it would have done. It certainly didn't get it from doing my drop kick. I don't know. That had to be. It had to be when I was pulling them apart.
Yep.
Well, I think,
Yeah, that's a good call.
gonna win this match. Why?
I
don't know.
That was an excellent that handshake from hell, man. If you guys haven't seen that, go to our YouTube channel and watch the handshake that went to hell or whatever we call it. It's just a little short. It shows the build up to the match that we had with the title match last week. It was such a good angle. Man, that was good.
Thought he would win it, he didn't.
I really think Ricky should have stayed heel. With the heat he had, he should have stayed heel. But wasn't my call. I went along with whatever they wanted to do. And I suggested, but that's all I can do. You know.
Yep.
Oh, it's a clothesline, and here next to me just joined us now is Ace.
So yeah, Roughouse Roberts. By the way, the late Roughouse Roberts. He passed away about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Roughouse doesn't deserve this match with Crusher.
What was that, Dave?
No, I was going to say at this point, who is the champion?
The champion right now is Ace.
Okay.
By the way, guys, let me know if the audio is too loud or not loud enough right now. But can you hear us talking okay? Somebody in the comments let me know on that. I just want to make sure.
Well, I mean, I can hear you well.
I know, my headset's so just, I can't tell.
To me, it sounds good. I was worried about it during the countdown.
Yeah.
Crusher.
That's Ace talking there.
Yep.
Now you can see Crusher taking him in the arm bar, pulling it back.
You know, Roberts and I work a little bit better than the younger kids, but okay, Mark Hugo says it sounds good. All right, good.
No, he doesn't do it.
Oh,
Takes him down.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's not too loud or, you know, too soft, so. Okay, everybody's saying the audio's good. All right.
But just drops them.
You can hear him. Yeah, I'll tell you something. This is ring. We don't even have the turnbuckles yet. We just have eye bolts going through the steel post. Eventually, we'll change out and get turnbuckles on there, and it'll work. It'll work even more like a ring. See that? That's the ring bell bolted to the other side of the eye bolt on the ring post. Did you see that, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah, it's an easy way to hit it. And then this is just a wood platform. Oh, it was just a hard ass ring. Had a little bit of give though, because it is plywood and has a little bit of give and take. But I'm a heel. By the way, Dave, I'm a heel in this. By the way, just FYI.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you covering your ears when the crowd was chanting. But...
Yeah, they get on my case. They love calling me Cushhead.
And you can see Roughouse taking him over for a
Cushhead or Cowpie Crossen. Those are the two famous ones. I shouldn't even say that. If Ricky hears that, he'll start calling me that. I don't want to hear the Cowpie one again. There goes the Cushhead chant.
Oh, comes down with the forearm to the back.
Yeah, now you give me more ammo for down the road.
Getting on the crowd here. I could be a good heel, Dave. I gotta say, I could be a good heel. I get that crowd going.
Yep.
Now that guys were asking me what parachute pants are. I was trying to explain to them parachute pants is out there. So Ricky, John, and all you guys, if you see this, I am wearing parachute pants. We all wore them back then. That was a popular thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that famous half shirt, which I wish I could still find. I don't know where the hell that went. I had a phone in the garage, my line, so that's why the phone, somebody's calling. Did you hear the phone go?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, that was just rung. And somebody answered, they said, oh, yeah, you can't talk right now. I was in the ring wrestling. Somebody must have been calling for me.
Something happened to Crusher.
Yeah, this is kind of, we're not doing the best. Roberts and I could work a little bit better match than this. He's going to do Boston Crab, it looks like.
Ruffles has the Boston Crab. If Crusher can grab onto that rope. Oh, and he grabs onto the ropes.
Always grab the ropes when you can.
Yep.
3 minutes gone.
You must have learned that from Ace.
Yeah, Ace was the master with it.
The super flying runs his own head into the mat.
You know, Ace was, out of all of us NWF champs, Ace was the one that was in the early phase of it. So he was in 85,
Now he's getting up on the
where we didn't have the live events, we didn't have the professional ring. Ace couldn't develop like the rest of us could, because he was just in a different era of it. But what Ace was a part of was all the shoot title matches, every single one of them. So his matches were rough and tumble. It was a survival mode for him in those title matches.
Well, kind of like me.
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes he'd have his way with. If he was stronger than the other guy, he could handle it. But a lot of times Ace was outmatched, and he knew it.
Yep.
That's why he was the master of the rope break. He just survived. You know, that's all you got to do if you want to keep that belt. Just survive the 10-minute time limit.
Yep.
It's a real dead spot in the crowd here, oddly enough.
Yeah, the crowd is.
Jumps down, but doesn't get a piece of him.
The guy commentating, that's Adam Nash, the Dynamite dude.
Drops on his arm.
Tough kid.
Yep.
Yeah. For a little guy, he was a lightweight, but Adam was the kind of kid that could handle somebody a grade or two above him in any kind of a wrestling match. So we had a tape glitch there.
3 minutes.
3 minutes left. Body slash.
Going for the pin. That's 1 count. The ref must be doing something wrong. No one had the ropes. That would have been a 3 count. But the ref.
Who is the ref in there?
Let
me see.
Why don't you
Looks
get a new ref in there?
That looks like one of the Bunis brothers. Pile driver? Kind of. Didn't really hit. This is what I'm saying. I could critique this stuff, Dave, till that sun goes down now. Let him all. And we were just kids. I was in the ropes. I was in the ropes.
Roughouse is running his head into the post. Throws him into the post.
Yeah, we need those turnbuckles, the actual turnbuckles on this, so when we get thrown in the ring post like that, we don't hit the damn thing like I just did.
Yeah. Because those don't have any give to them.
No, not the steel post.
Yep. Seems like the cushion tune's kind of irritating you.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know something? This was still, for us at this time period, at this time in the league, and let's remember, this is the first, we're still just barely in our 2nd year now of the show. And we were,
as you can see,
it was such a thrill to be on this. I mean, you couldn't find any kind of setup like this anywhere as a kid.
No. And that's why when I started hearing kids talk about they were pro wrestlers, I'm like, whatever. And then I actually found it.
And now Roughouse. Power body slam.
Yeah, you know, old school was kind of like this. It was just kind of rough and tumble. Like, it wasn't crisp. It wasn't technique. It was just... But there should be more technique than this. I mean, we're still, like I said, we're still learning our way.
Right.
I think that was a 3 count.
And the Crusher is getting mad now.
One of the few times I got pinned, Dave. I only got pinned a handful of times.
Who do you think is going to win this match? Rock and Roll Reinhardt? I think. Oh, and the match has just been ended by...
I'm not happy about that, am I?
Nope, you're having a little hissy fit about it.
And that match had just been ended
There's
by
Steve
Dynamite
Engstrom, the
Dude.
guy we were talking about.
Yep.
Here comes Ace.
And now, here's a few words.
Because I'm a heel, I'm affiliated with Ace right now.
Yep.
The NWF hotline, leave your name, address, city, state, zip, and phone number, and we'll get back to you. I had to stop leaving the area code, though, because I keep getting calls from New York and LA and Texas. And
Yep.
it was just a waste of time because I had to tell them you can't, unless you can get up to Minnesota.
Can't work for us.
Can't do anything, yeah. So, yeah, little break here. But back to Ireland. So, you know, the first thing that Keaton said to me was, "It's so weird to see you in person," was his exact words. He was super excited, though. You know, we did a special kayfabe with Keaton. I'd say if you guys didn't see it, go back and watch it. I think Gizmo and you guys were there, though. But it was a great show, and we were at a really nice atrium. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really cool. They let us have this venue, and they had it kind of roped off for us. So the public couldn't get to us. But they were a lot of times watching and listening on the outside. You just couldn't see them. And it was a great, you know, Keaton said he really enjoyed that interview with me. He thinks it's one of the best ones, mainly because it was in person with him. It's fun to do it in person.
Talk about
Right.
controversy, ladies and gentlemen.
And we're back.
We're back.
Roughouse Roberts and Crusher Crossen, but Crusher
So it was a
claimed his
pin.
hands were on the ropes. The whole thing
And
lasted
they were.
9 minutes and 16 seconds, though. But I tell you, that's one heck of a controversy type of a match. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're all set for the next match here. It will be a lightweight, heavyweight combinational type of a match. We're going to have Ace and Mean Dean tagging up to go
Brothers.
against Pile Driver Peterson and the Dynamite Dude.
Yeah, that'd be a
So
good
join
one.
the match in
Yep.
progress with the introduction.
Here we
Gizmo
are,
says
the NWF.
it was 6 a.m. It was really, I think he meant good. Keaton does a nice job now. Yeah, he certainly does.
Mean Dean
And,
coming into the ring right now.
you know, Keaton wanted to keep the questions to me about the NWF because I was his guest for that show.
Opponents are
Right.
And so he really stuck to his plan of asking me questions. And that's one where Keaton didn't have his questions written down. He just had them all in his head. He did good.
Power
We had a nice conversation. Like, it really went well.
charity match.
Keaton's usually the kind of person that likes to have everything written down, you know, his questions.
Well, I can understand that. He doesn't want to. He wants to make sure he covers all the bases of what he wants to say. And,
Exactly.
No, keep on going. You can wrestle. I just want
but,
to say
you know,
something on
sometimes
camera.
doing that, you
I tell you
lose
something, Hot Rock Roberts.
some of the
Like
character.
he called, I had that match won. I had his shoulders
You know,
up.
just
my
a little
shoulders down.
advice
My hand was
for
on the
him.
rope, though. And if he's gonna come down there saying he won, he's cheap. I want him
I
next
mean,
show.
you know, when
Next
Crusher and I
week.
do this
Not only
show,
do I know if I get this
there's
match.
no scripts.
Let me
There's
tell you something,
no.
Roughouse is cheap. He doesn't know how to wrestle.
Pretty
He's
much
here
it's
crawling
just
around the ring like alfalfa. I want that match. I don't
right
know if
before
I'm gonna
the
get no disqualification.
show goes live, we're
I get it.
talking and we say, you know,
All
hey,
right, well,
let's
you
talk
heard
about this.
Crusher.
Yep.
He doesn't want to leave this arena until he gets.
I just
another
heard
match
myself ranting on the microphone there. I don't know if you heard that,
with
Dave.
Oh, I heard you ranting.
I'm still upset about getting pinned.
Ace missed the clothesline on Peterson.
Not happy about that, I guess.
And Peterson's got him over his shoulder.
Peterson was a big oxy kid, man. You know, he was strong. So, and everybody had their hands full with Brian.
Pounding away on Ace.
And Adam could, like I said, he could hold his own against anybody here.
Stunned for the moment.
So he's a lightweight, but he'll go toe to toe with anybody. He was a tough kid.
He's one of those, don't piss him off.
But he has
Yeah, he's just a tough kid, you know. He really was.
And Adam is pounding away on Ace. Ace is stunned for the moment.
Those are pretty heavy
Yeah.
forearms he's throwing there too. You could hear him.
And Adam pounding away on Mean Dean. And now Ace.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, back to Ireland. So that day one, the first day I went up to the, like I said, kind of explained. I went up to the Fergus Castle. It was cool to see, and I met with John McCann. And what I did is I said, "Hey John," you know, because he's in my hotel, right? And my hotel was like an apartment. I had a living room, I had a bedroom, it was just a huge room. like a part. I was like, you could live in there. You could live there. And I said, John, I had the NWF belt. I said, put the belt on your shoulder. I'll take a selfie with me and you. I'll send it to Ricky. And we did. And Canary typed back. Ricky typed back. Goes, is John in your hotel already? Because they were supposed to come the next day.
And Crusher having a few words with the ref.
So that was kind of funny. Then, anyways, they went to training that night. They were asking if I was going to come to training that night, but I said, nah, I want to. Keaton was going to come back. I was going to meet Keaton because I hadn't met him yet. So Darren was going to bring Keaton over to meet him, so I wanted to do that.
Who do you think is going to win this match?
Then the Keaton came over. I got a picture with Keaton with the belt, and it was great, you know, meeting him. And then we went out and got some dinner and stuff.
And here's
And
a few words from Roughouse.
then, after that, Robert's screaming out at me. Let's see. Day 2. So then Darren Keaton's dad again came and went and had breakfast, and then we finally met up with John and Ricky that afternoon. And I gotta say, it was just great to see Ricky in person finally. You know, being the co-host with me on Forward. You know, it was just. It's not often you can say you can meet somebody when they're halfway around the world. So
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
You look at it, Ricky's been part of the NWF family for a while now. And
Almost a year.
Have a face-to-face.
Yeah, it's almost been a year, Dave.
Yeah.
I think I had Canary on as a guest a year ago for the first Forward show. It was close to a year ago. But anyways, yeah, so meet face-to-face, and then we went back to my hotel because Darren had to go get Keaton, and then I got some stuff together for the podcast, and we headed off well, first we went and had dinner, and then we at the place they wanted to go to called Nando's. It's to do like chicken, really good food actually. Went there, and then after there we went to Nathan Hoy came and picked us up, and we went to the dojo and did the podcast. And let me tell you something, guys, that podcast out of the dojo was not an easy thing to do because the trouble is inside the dojo with all the brick walls and stuff, we have no cell phone reception. So, and we have to make a hotspot to do it. So we had to literally open the door to the back door of it. That's why you could hear the traffic and stuff outside, kind of. And we had to put a chair out there and put the cell phone on the chair to get good cell phone reception and then make a Wi-Fi hotspot to come through the door.
I'm surprised Nathan doesn't have internet there in the dojo.
Well, there's no need for it normally. Like, they don't really need it. But if they start live streaming, that's something he might want to consider. Now, they can get, like, special antennas that go up on the roof and come down and give you proper coverage. But anyways, we got it to work, and like I said, the only trouble I was having with the podcast is damn Ben. Because when Ben and Ricky were off the show, Ben was positioned in a way where I could see him. And they were kind of giggling with each other, you know, just having fun as kids do. They're teenagers, you know.
Yeah.
But when I would make different expressions and facial expressions, Ben would mock me with it. And, you know, making me almost laugh myself. And I'm just trying to get me, you know.
They were just trying to rib you and get you to break character.
Trying to. I'll tell you one thing, though. In that Handshake from Hell, when they came on, there was one scene in that segment that we did where I wanted them to look at each other. Remember when I said, I want you guys to look at each other right now?
Yep.
Well, you probably didn't notice it, but if you look close, they were laughing. They couldn't hold a straight face.
Yep.
And I realized right then and there, I can't do this. I can't have them look at each other. So we didn't go back. My plan was to have them look at each other, and I was going to bring all their emotions into their friendship. I couldn't do it because they couldn't hold a straight face, neither one of them.
It's on the dotted line.
Yeah, I kind of catch it, but you know me, I watch.
Yeah.
You know, you've heard some of my comments.
Anything goes. Hey, this
From what I watched.
Crusher, listen to me. Crusher, does this sound good to you? No disqualification. No ref.
None of it's meant as disrespect. It's all
object. Anything goes. No time limit.
just stuff that I noticed.
All right. Here we go. Anything match. We'll make up the card.
Yeah. And so after the podcast show was great, and then we
All right, folks. You heard it. Next
we went. Nathan brought me home. or back to the apartment or my hotel. And then of course Saturday was the day of the show. Now what I did is I got there early, asked Nathan how we're going to show up. He says, I'll just show up about noon. So I showed up around 11, I think it was 11 or 12. Anyways, I got there and nobody was there yet. It was just Nathan and me. And I think, did Mitch get me? How did I get there? No, Darren brought me there. Then eventually Mitch showed up. And Mitch is the guy who does all the, Mitch Baxter, former wrestler himself. He does like all the technical side of things. He does the video production. He's the technical guru behind the scenes.
Right.
And he has this van full of shit that he's got to bring in for the lights. They have smoke machine, lights, fireworks, pyro, limited pyro. They do all that kind of stuff. And Mitch has a whole setup for this that he's got to do. But when I got that, we did a ring breakdown and rebuild, which is great to do that. And I wanted to be a part of this. So I was there and I just helped and I broke the ring down with them. Eventually Canary showed up. Ricky, he was the next one to show up, and then the rest of them come. D.D. Crooks. I'd say the two guys who really know what they're doing with the ring would be like Ricky and D.D. Crooks.
Right.
John McCann. Those guys. John wasn't there though because John couldn't make this show. But them guys, from what I understand, I believe John is very hands-on too. They're the ones that really are very helpful for that. But this was a flexi steel ring, Dave. No spring in the middle.
Right.
Pretty cool to see that. I've never seen a ring like this. You know, I've always had the breakdown with the springs.
Yep.
You know, so it was kind of cool to see the flexi steel ring. And we tore it down, rebuilt it because they had to kind of move it, position it for the show.
Right.
And then we just kept helping get set up for it and everything. And then after that, it was just a waiting game, waiting in the back.
Now, I got a question for you, Crusher. Now that you've been in the old school spring ring and the flexi steel ring, which one's better?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Our breakdown rings with the spring, they were better.
Okay.
In my opinion. There's just more. It had more give.
Right.
The flexi steel isn't bad though, by any means. It definitely, I think if you're a bigger guy and a heavier guy, it works better.
Right.
But if you're a lighter guy, I don't know if you get the full effect of it. Where our spring worked with everybody.
Right.
Let's see. I'm going to bring this comment in. Sky Sports Video News says, Crusher, only you could go to another country and jury rig a communication network to communicate with the USA. He's talking about the what we had to do to make that live stream. Come hell or high water, we're going to make that work.
Right.
We didn't wait all this time. We had it all planned out. We were talking about that handshake from hell for months. Like we had that written down to do that at least a couple months out.
Well, and, you know, breaking kayfabe a little bit, I knew a lot of this ahead of time.
Yeah, because I shared with Dave a lot of this.
You know, that's the only thing I'll forewarn Nathan if you're watching this show. Crusher shares stuff with me, but I kayfabe it.
Yeah, and Dave, I know, won't say anything. Like, anything would not get to anybody that doesn't need to, so.
You know.
Let me just bring this comment in. Gizmo says, I am sure they found it impressive that you jumped in and helped put up the ring and help with the setup. Yeah, and I know Nathan wishes all the guys would do that. You know, some of the guys just kind of show up right before the matches and aren't always there to help. You know, when you're doing this kind of thing, and I know what Nathan means by that, you need everybody helping. You need all hands on deck.
Right.
So, and sometimes it's always the same people, and that's not good. You gotta get everybody in contributing there. Everybody's got to chip in. You know, if everybody chips in, it can get set up good. Like Nathan was saying, if they were going to do the bigger venue, if they were going to do Willowford, Church Halls, because we moved it to the dojo, if they were going to do that, they'd have been and the people showed up when they did, they'd be in trouble.
Yep.
Because they have to move the ring and everything. So, yeah.
SC Sports Talk just got a comment.
Let's see. Oh, this is now Crusher against Dynamite Dude. See, I would go against the lightweights really to help put them over. I think I've said this before, Dave. I'm going against guys like the Dynamite Dude or Rough Ryan to put them over. I wanted to really spotlight our lightweights as they're being viable. That's why I do these kind of matchups. Anyway, Crusher, tell us about your trip to Ireland. What time did you leave Minnesota? How long was the flight, and was it a rough flight? Well, I'm in Salt Lake City.
Yep.
However, ironically enough, my first flight went from Salt Lake City to Minneapolis. And so I was in Minnesota for about a 3 or 4 hour layover. That flight was fine. That was like maybe 3.5 hour flight. No, maybe not even that, 3 hours. Had a layover, which I hung out in the Delta Sky Club. And then I went from Minneapolis directly to Dublin, Ireland. After that, that was about a 7.5 hour flight. And it wasn't bad. It was nice and smooth. The hardest thing for me was I tried to get some sleep, because when I left Salt Lake City, my flight left Salt Lake City at 10 in the morning. I landed in Dublin, Ireland the next day at 8 in the morning. That's because of the time zone changes and everything.
Right.
So technically I needed to stay up all day. I couldn't go to sleep when I got there. I would have screwed everything up. So I had to stay up, and even Darren was saying, Chris, you look like you were sleepwalking by the end of the night, because I was like in a day, I was ready to go to bed. Yeah, it was very smooth. And then the flights coming back were just as smooth. I went from Dublin to, once I got to Dublin, Ireland, I'm not in Northern Ireland yet. They're two different countries. So I'm in Dublin, and they had a special bus that went right up to Belfast. TransLink, it's called. So I just got on that bus. About a 2 hour bus ride. And then I was in Belfast. And that's where Darren picked me up, Keaton's dad. And then same thing on the way back, just take the TransLink down to the airport. And then flight went from Dublin to Boston.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't happy there. Crusher being a heel. So that was a long flight. That was like a 6 hour flight, 7 hour flight going to, I think it was a 6.5 hour flight going to Boston. And when I got to Boston, about an hour and a half layover, and then I was on my way to Salt Lake City. And that was a long one. That was like a 5.5 hour flight, I think, from Boston to Salt Lake City. That was just a long flight. And I was back.
You
were in Minneapolis, you didn't even hit me up. How dare you?
Yeah, I was there for about 3 or 4 hours in the airport.
Hit himself in the turnbuckle.
Dynamite Dude's pants are falling off.
Yep.
That's why he's laughing. Adam's like, look at, he's wearing his like school clothes. I wish he would. Adam normally would look the part. I don't know why he's just in his jeans and a polo, but this is the kind of stuff I'd love to go back and fix. Like, guys, come on, let's look the part.
And there he goes, sitting on him.
Boston Crab, sort of. Robert's giving me shit outside the ring. You can hear him.
Oh, he tears to the eye.
This is and then the hands. I think he does that. This is a movie you don't see anymore. That one. Remember that? The ear clap? He used to always do that.
Crusher across the face.
And then that too. The boots to the head like that. What do they call that move, Dave? What's the name for it? Skull splitter or something?
I don't remember.
Slams him down.
It hasn't been used in so long.
Yeah, they just don't do it anymore.
There he did something. Could be severe. And the pin on Crusher.
Boy, they love calling me Crusher, don't they?
Yep. So hopefully, Ricky, you're watching this.
Don't give him any ideas, Dave.
Picks him up and throws him.
Oh, you know I will.
And an elbow.
Yep, new world champion, guys. The Canary Kid. He is the current NWF world champion. I wish him luck on an awesome title reign.
Now, what happens if he breaks Crusher's reign length?
Well, if he's gonna break, that would be a long. He'd have to have it over a year to do that.
Yeah.
Possible, I guess. He's young.
Exactly.
But like I told Ricky, when you have a world title, shit, you're gonna have everybody wanting matches with you. You're gonna, and just in their league alone, not let alone wherever else he goes. So people are gonna want that belt. He better be watching his ass.
And there is no
For lack of a better word.
Oh, and a
You know, you're gonna need Ben to watch your six.
What's that?
He's gonna need Ben to watch his stick. You know.
And there, Crusher picked
You know,
up Dynamite Dude, and
so with all the bad blood between Ben and Ricky, you know, they came together for the match and they respected each other and they shook hands at the end. That was the biggest win of the night, in my opinion.
There he goes into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Oh, he turns it around. And
I mean, whether their friendship is fully restored,
Or whether they go back south again with it, who knows?
Oh,
Yep.
and he gets him the headlock and punches away in his forehead. He still has him punching him.
The heck am I doing with Adam here?
He chokes him and punches
The idea is to let them be able to learn to sell, you know, and that's what we're doing here. I'm just giving them all these opportunities to like really sell it. Because Adam normally would have his way with people.
yeah.
So if he gets in there with me, I want him to work. I want him to actually take some abuse. There's Mr. X. They're all ganging up on me. You got Roberts, Peterson, got everybody on my ass here. What the hell's going on here? But look at me, I'm handling it.
The referee just stands in the corner.
See, Crusher Crossen. That's why I'm the master of handicap matches, you guys. I've been in the ring with 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and right now I got 3 big guys in here that are all, of course, Mr. X. I mean, Steve wasn't a big guy, but he's big to us.
Yeah.
We need it.
Mr. X, I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
Well, here comes my flip, Dave.
I want to come on your side.
What makes you think you want to come on my side?
Because I can't stand that Peterson. Him and his big mouth. You heard him. You have a match against him coming up.
I'll take care of him, but I want to know why you want to come on my side.
Because I'm sick and tired of the Peterson's family. The side you're on has been my side for a long time. I want to get out of this side. I want to come on to the good side.
Well, if you want to come
We
on
didn't know
my
the
side,
terminology.
you're going to obey by my rules and my rules only.
The good
That's
side.
what I plan. That's what I plan.
Yep.
And Peterson, this man is gonna rip you apart, and I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, Peterson goes against Mr. X, I think, for the main event on this show. And I'm roughing it. I can imagine that.
John, and welcome.
You know, I didn't have there's no love affair with me and Peterson, so.
We're about ready to get into this match. By the way, I forgot to let you know that there was an interview coming in between, but that's not important. Our next, I did it last match, ladies and gentlemen of Wolf.
What's another comment?
Dude was the verdict by a
Let's see.
disqualification on Crusher Crossen.
Sky Sports Video News says, Crusher, did you have any problems with the younger kids crying or storming out of the ring in anger during any of your shows? Not like that. The only problem I had with the lightweights was that shoot match with Dynamite Dude and Rough Ryan. Dynamite Dude put a camel clutch on Ryan. And remember, in a submission back in these days, it was no tapping. You didn't tap. That didn't mean anything. Tapping's a UFC thing, and UFC hadn't happened yet. So to give up, the referee would ask you, and you have to verbally either you nod your head or you verbally say, yes, I give up, when the referee asks you. So the referee's asking Ryan if he gives up when he's in this camel clutch. Remember, it's a shoot match, so we're really going for submissions. Adam was cranking so far back, Ryan couldn't breathe. So he couldn't verbally say he gives up. He couldn't nod his head because he's in a camel clutch. You know, camel clutch, pulling the neck, sitting on this back, pulling his neck, right? Arms on the shoulders. Or, well, you know. And I don't know how he got out of it, but he got out of it enough. And when he did, he was in tears, Ryan was.
Yeah.
Not because he was hurting, because he was scared. He couldn't breathe. He could not breathe in this move. And we stopped the match. We just stopped it. Stopped the camera. And Adam felt so bad for that. Adam's like, I'm so sorry, Ryan. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Kept apologizing to him.
Yep.
Ryan was fine. He got over it, but Adam didn't. That was it. Adam was done. He's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not going to do this. Adam was a tough kid, but he didn't want to hurt anybody.
There it is. You see?
Right.
So that was the last of the Dynamite Dude. That was another like light bulb that went off. Like, I don't know if we should be doing shoot matches.
Got a lot of people economy coming on this side to begin with.
Don't know if it's smart.
It's a bad habit.
There's the original TWA belt. That was before the blue belt. Steve would make the blue belt, and it would make its debut, I believe, on the next show.
Peterson like a flat pancake.
From this one.
And there's going to be a lot more. Peterson, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst, disgusting, irresponsible manager in the NWF today. He can't manage anybody. He never managed me, I'll say that.
I'm not a good promo guy. Ricky's so much better.
Have anything else to say?
I'm pretty good now, but I'm not good then. Brian's roughing.
And here's
Who the hell is this?
with Beefcake Bunis and
I wonder if it's Ace.
Brian.
Oh, it's going to be the two brothers. So these guys are brothers, Troy and Brian Bunis, and they're going to fight.
Bad Street Brian here.
Trouble with brother fights like this in lightweights is it just turns into actual fights, like wrestling fights they'd have in their basement. Nothing special, nothing, you know, really like professional style wrestling. Just going to be. The only thing is they're not afraid of each other, so they will hit each other, they'll kick each other, they don't care because they're brothers. But clothesline. Then so let me see, where was I at? So yeah, we had the show, right? We get to the match for Ricky versus Ben, and we're main event. I was concerned, like, how are they going to perceive me? Like, they don't really know me. How am I going to be perceived by the crowd? Are they going to like me? Are they going to boo me? Or, you know, what? Are there going to be no reaction? Well, Mitch put together a really nice video presentation that really kind of told the story of the buildup of this match. This goes about 4 or 5 minutes, and they played that for everybody to watch. So then when it came out, Mitch made an entrance video for me. I don't know. I didn't see it. My back was to the monitor, but we'll see it next week. I'm sure it'll be a part of the match that he puts together. And then at my entrance video, it was with Eye of the Tiger. So I came out to Eye of the Tiger, my original ring music. And I got really receptive. Well, you guys probably seen that when you watch the match on Keaton's footage, but that was good. It was like a shaking everybody's hand. The match then, I did the traditional start like I told you guys I was going to do. I think the fans appreciated that. And then the match. And what you seen Ricky and Ben doing in the beginning was what they call British chain wrestling. Notice how they're just doing all those different holds with each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ricky is pretty much on defense through that, if you noticed.
Yeah.
Ben was the aggressive one. And that's just British chain. It's basically real wrestling as a work. It's the best way to explain it. And it was hard to ref because I'm looking to make sure they're not doing anything illegal. So easy to get an illegal move with all that. I'm looking for chokes, you know, just illegal moves. But then they, you know, the match just escalated on, and like I said, there was that drop kick that Ricky did when Ben jumped off the second rope, and Ricky drop kicked him from the middle of the ring. God, was that good?
Yeah.
At that moment, Ricky surpassed me with the drop kick. His drop kick is better than mine was ever at that point. And he knows it, and I know it. And not that I couldn't maybe pull that off back in the day, because I used to practice my drop kick on a punching bag in the gym, and I'd always mark a spot, and I could drop kick it well above my head. Like, I could hit way up there. But I never tried that. I never tried having somebody come off the second rope. So I can't say I could do that, because I never tried it. I know I couldn't do it today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, you know, what I like about Ricky, though, is that he listened to me when I talked about my drop kick, you know, when he met me a year ago.
Yep.
Believe me, you just go look at his old drop kicks before he met me and look what they looked like then and look what they look like now. You can tell he listened to what I said.
Yep.
And, again, I'm going to make it crystal clear. I am not taking credit for training Ricky on the drop kick. I'm only taking credit for him making it look good. And he is making his look very good. Ricky does have an advantage over me because he's got with Ricky, like with me, I have kind of short legs. I'm kind of shorter and short legs. Ricky's got a lot of legs. Like his hip is higher than mine. So for a drop kick, that means you already have that extra height to get up.
Yep.
That makes a difference.
He goes down and he trips over
Makes
him.
it better.
He must be in very much pain.
And then and we got a comment coming in from Gizmo. And I agree with this too. I've already read it.
I don't think he'll make it.
Ben needs a lot of credit on that drop kick too, because Ben really sold it. He sure did. You know, jumping off the top rope, getting hit with a drop kick, and then having to sell in midair like that, not easy to do. And Ben did that really well. Ben also hit Ricky. If you notice, Ricky did remember when Ricky did that springboard where he used the top rope and he leaped up on the top rope? You couldn't really see it good with our vantage point with Keaton's camera, but you'll see it on the one coming up next week. But Ricky springboarded off the top rope and jumped into the ring. He'd never done that move before. He was practicing that, like, to get the courage to do it for like 5 minutes. And Nathan's like, Ricky, just forget it. Go on to something. Don't do it. Do something else. And Ricky's like, no, I can get it. I can get it. And he did. He did get it. And he did it in the match, and it came off perfect. But Ben hit him with a super kick right when he did it. So he came springboard in and got hit with the super kick. That was beautiful. They put on an excellent match.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I wanted to tell you what you didn't see on video. So Ben came back, like I said, he was in tears. It was happy tears, though. I think Ricky was even emotional himself when he came back. And so anyways, them guys went out to intermingle with their fans, and I was still in the back, and then they had to cut a promo in the back. I'm still in the ref shirt and everything. And the way it works is you're in the back, they're kind of outside the dojo, and you can walk around to the front. And when they were going to shoot this promo, I had to get out of there, so I walked around to the front. As soon as I turned the corner to the front, there is all of Ben's family, and I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to hate me. Couldn't be anything further. They were so welcoming. They were all shaking my hand. It was just, there was no hate at all. They were very, very nice. And all the little kids that were there that are part of the training, they're the junior trainees, I should say. They all were coming up to me. They say, Crusher, are you really from America? Are you really from America? They wanted to shake my hand and everything. I said, yeah, I'm from America. And it's like, we watch your podcast and they love it. And I asked them, I said, so let me ask you, am I too hard on Canary Kid? Am I being too rough with him? I asked the little kids, and they're like, nah, you're not being hard enough. That's what they say. Not being hard enough to him.
Be forewarned, Ricky.
They're all good kids. Working with the junior trainees then. So then, after that night was over, we got lots of pictures, of course. I got pictures with both Ben and Ricky, and I put a lot of those on social media already, but got some nice, good promo shots of Ricky now for new promo shots, which I'll show you in our slideshow at the end. With the belt, of course.
Yeah.
And after the match on Sunday, I think Sunday I did the kayfabe with Keaton show, and then we went and seen the Titanic Museum. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And Darren again took me to these things. It was great. And then after that day, I went to Spec. Then I just had to chill. I just needed some time at the hotel just to take all this in so far. And then Monday was the day where I hung out with Mitch Baxter, the technical guy, you know, kind of like Nathan's partner in a way, like making all these shows work. And we hung out and just hung out and talked wrestling. It was great. And then we got with Ricky, and then Stevie Fee came into town from London. He had matches over there, and I got to meet him then. And I was gonna wear that. He gave me a hat, and I was gonna wear it, and I forgot. Shoot. Anyway, I got a Stevie Fee hat. What's that?
Oh, I saw on that thing that I told you that I could see. I saw the Crusher hat.
No, not the Crusher hat. That was just something that came up on my feed. But I had a Stevie Fee hat. This is kind of a trademark of his character. He gave me one. But anyway, so we did. On that Monday, then I hung out with Mitch. It was fun. Then we got Canary, like I said, and we went and had... that day, me and Mitch ate like kings. We had breakfast. We had lunch. We had a second lunch with Ricky and all those guys. And then we went to the dojo to do the training. And the training at the dojo was great. I worked with the kids. I got some great pictures with all of them as well.
Yep.
It was great. Yeah, it was just,
Wanna get
it was
another match
fabulous.
if you beat up Brian. Or whatever your name is. Probably Brian.
Hang on here a second. I just got to check something
Here we are
quick.
back. Oh, here goes the pile driver. He's gonna do it. No, he doesn't. Oh, he gives him the backbreaker.
So anyway, I want to make sure if I have this picture. I don't know if I uploaded it. Looks like I
And
didn't.
here's Venus Beefcake for another
I'm going to need to put
word.
that in.
Hey, Peterson.
I'll put that in.
No, otherwise known as Pink Peterson.
One second, Dave. You can go ahead and talk about anything you want right now while I'm doing this.
And you're gonna be
You know, I
and
mean,
I'm gonna get one against Backstreet.
the whole week he was over there. It was,
No, God about it, Pink.
you know, Crusher and I talked
That's all I have to say. Next match.
since he's been back, and it sounds like he had a wonderful time. The only thing I will say about what we're watching right now is I'm highly disappointed in you, Crusher.
Oh? Oh, I know why. Don't have that damn ref shirt tucked in.
Nope, looks like a damn dress on you.
Yeah, especially in that shirt. See, these ref shirts are big on us because they were my brother-in-law's ref shirts. He refs softball. So I would steal his ref shirts for the show. And they're meant to go on a big guy, not us kids. So yeah, when we put them on, they look like dresses sometimes. Yeah. What can you do?
You know, I got to nitpick you a little bit, Crusher. You know that.
You're just
Yep.
a wimpy old wrestler that doesn't know how to wrestle. The weakling of the world. I should have
Yep,
that
that's
match,
for sure.
and you know it. You just know.
You know, the guys aren't being very rowdy during
No
this match.
good. Backstreet.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are.
They're quiet.
And he gets his head to the
Who's that? Who's being quiet? Sorry.
Crowd.
down.
Oh, in the studio audience?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Blows some to his back.
if I'm not there to kick them in the ass to start cheering, because we had to always have to. That's something you guys maybe don't know, but like with wrestlers, we had to remind them, "You're the crowd. Come on, crowd." We a lot of times hear this, "Come on, crowd," meaning let's start cheering because they're our studio audience.
Yep.
Pink Peterson.
And if I'm not out there, you know, kicking them in the ass to get them to start cheering, then nobody is.
Yep.
Especially if Steve would be good for that too, but we're both in the ring, so.
Yep. Kelsey's not there, so.
You can see how that ring was built. It was built out of 2x4s and plywood. You can see it kind of.
Yep.
So yeah, Brian, I'm reffing, and Brian gets really mad at me at the end of this match. You'll see why, because I just do a 3 count when I didn't care if he was pinned or not, and I just count 3. And Brian was mad. I think it happens right up in here, actually. There's the point where.
Out of the Peterson family.
What's that?
You were trying to get out of the Peterson family.
Right, and I got thrown out of the ring or something, and you'll see Brian. Brian's gonna. Oh, Mr. X went over the top rope.
Yeah, and I don't see the ref in the ring either.
Pink Peterson.
I think that was a false bell, ringing of the bell.
Blowing some to his chest.
I
Pink Peterson.
don't know why they're ringing it though, because he's not over yet. Yeah, you can hear Adam saying, "What are you ringing it for?" They were confused. I think they thought it was the disqualification, but it hasn't been disqualified. But now watch, see, X has him covered. I just counted at 3. Brian's pissed.
Peterson loses the match.
He is mad.
Oh yeah.
And I take that ref shirt off, and I was never afraid of Brian. I'd go toe to toe with him.
Mr. X is the winner.
I would. You have to be like that with Brian, otherwise he will bull right over you.
Yep.
NWF we had a compact crowd here in the studios today. You probably heard them. I tell you, but there's going to be a lot more coming up though, because next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the 6-man tag team to figure out who will be the 6-man tag team champions. There's going to be a big, gigantic trophy, and
yeah, that's where we introduced the 6-man tag team championship.
Kid USA Kelsey, Mr. X, and Crusher Crossen.
So I haven't checked the website. Have you updated the title lineage yet.
Oh, on the website?
Yep.
No, I've been meaning to do that. I got to get that done. I'll probably do that this weekend.
Yep.
I told Ricky I want to have like a thing set up where for booking for anybody who wants to book them. And kind of a direct link to him, like maybe to his Instagram or something so they can contact him, kind of a contact thing. That way if somebody comes across it, maybe they might want to get them, right? So I think we should have that on the website actually. Whoever the champion is.
Right.
Contact information for other indie feds. So, yep, another rough show. Let's see. Next one will be Fred Moore that we'll be doing, I think. Well, wait a minute. Let me look at my list. My notes here. Our next show that we're going to do as a watch line. Let's see. What did we do here? We did. Yeah, so the next show we're going to do coming up in 2 weeks is going to be a Fred Moore taping. And then, I think, yes. Wait a minute, I'm wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at my list. So we just did taping 41 on April 15th. Yeah, we are going to do Fred Moore 58. But then after that, God, why doesn't that make sense? Oh, never mind. Here it is. 58 is 619. Yeah, Fred Moore. Then after that, we're going to do show 76, which is the Yoho Municipal on July 3rd, day before the 4th. And then the next one after that is going to be the one that we haven't seen yet, the July Armory card.
Oh, boy.
At least the first half.
Right.
Then we're going to do the second half after that. And then we'll be to show 100. The preview we just seen, that'll finally make it on Rewind on August 14th. So that's kind of what's coming up. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. Now I want to get to the slideshow, and with Dave we can just keep talking, but I'm going to go to our slideshow screen so you can start seeing some pictures.
And some of this I might not have even seen yet.
Maybe not. Now there's Ricky, there's Canary with the belt. And notice it's a corrected picture now. It shows Europe on that plate. When he took the picture, it actually had the USSR there. I fixed it. Needs to be shown proper for what he has.
Right.
That's Johnny MC. He kind of goes with Johnny MC's Johnny McElroy. He's their ring announcer. Does ring announcing for like 3 different leagues over there in Ireland and stuff. Great at ring announcer. That's a shot of Canary checking on me after he clotheslined me. You can see he's showing concern.
Yep.
Different side of Canary Kid here that night, ladies and gentlemen.
If I'm correct, he's also telling you to roll over.
Not there, he wasn't. That came up a little bit later. This is one of my favorite shots of Ricky that turned out good, I thought. Him with the belt and his new ring jacket. I thought that was a good shot for him. That's Nando Lee. I don't know if I should say it. That's one of the guys, along with Ricky Henry, myself. That's Mitch Baxter, and then that's Stevie Fee with the LDN championship that he just won. So 2 champions there. That was a cool shot. That was me with before the show started with Ben and Canary tug-of-warring on the belt. Cool shot. There's Canary drop kicking Crusher. See, guys? He got the drop kick, and I did one too, but I just wanted to put one still in. This is a video. I'll show you the video of this. That was at the training. That's me training with the kids, going over some moves. That's Ben Nelson's the one that Keaton has that wrist lock up with that he's doing.
Yep.
Basically, I showed him a snap mare into a reverse chin lock, into a leg drop on the arm, into a reverse. That's Nathan Hoy, the owner and promoter. And then you see Mitch Baxter in the background. And there's a shot of the 2 that I, besides Keaton, that I got to know real early on. John McCann on the left and Canary Kid on the right. It's a good shot. This is Chris Mercer. He's one of the early trainees as well with NIPW, and he's doing this charity slam, which is going to happen this weekend on Saturday, I think. It's a benefit for they're doing, and he has the belt as well. That's Mitch, great guy. I made so many friends, Dave.
Yep.
I don't know how to explain it. But this is a real great guy there, Mitch Baxter. There's me and John. John wanted a picture of just us. And John wants to have my last match, everybody. He says, Crusher, you gotta, Canary. I'll talk about that a little bit, but John really wants to have a match. There's John with the belt. That's the one I sent Ricky when he showed up at the hotel. I said, let's take a picture with the belt. I knew that would get Ricky going, to see him with the belt. And then these are their announcing crew. Rory and I forget the other guy's name, but one's Rory. They had 2 announcers.
Yep.
That does the commentating. That's up at Fergus Castle there. That's me with the belt. The belt's in the belt bag, of course. It's a cool picture. This is one of I think the City Hall has a tour thing you can do, and there's like cool quotes.
Yep.
So I'm sure people are going to wonder what Can-Am Connection is. There's a whole story behind that, but it has nothing to do with wrestling. But American independence and the French Revolution inspire Irish nationalism. I thought that was cool, so I wanted to get a picture with that staying. And that's going up in the City Hall of the main city of Belfast.
Okay.
Boy, Crusher looks in good shape, doesn't he? And then this is one of the city councilmen in Carrickfergus presenting me with a plaque. And then I don't have the picture, but I signed that's the mayor's desk over there, and I signed their guest book. And you got a picture with him with the belt as well. I had the belt. That's why Darren wanted me to bring the belt along for this. So he had this plan to do. Another cool one, Irish Volunteers.
Yeah.
World War I. I thought that was cool, so I got a picture with that. And then there's Keaton with that NWF title.
Belt's almost as big as he is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, he was excited. He was excited for the trip and everything, me coming out. That's Darren. That's Keaton's dad. And we were out shooting some pool that day because he's a good pool player, and he let me win, guys, on some of these games. I'm not gonna. I know he did. And now we're back to the beginning. So I don't know any questions anybody has. We'll keep talking here, Dave and I. If you have anything. Oh wait, there's one other picture I want to bring in. Forgot about this. It wasn't in the slideshow, but I'm going to bring it in right now. Let's get to my media files. Yeah, picture with the kids from the kids training.
Yep.
All these kids are talented. You see Keaton's got the NWF shirt on. That little guy there that's next to me. Well, there's 2 little guys, but one in the kind of the lighter blue shirt. He's a big time John McCann fan. Huge John McCann fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes John. These guys are all pretty good. The guy that says the Joe shirt, it says Joe or whatever, he was one of them that had a match. It was the first kids match they did a while back. It's got a ton of views on their channel too. All these guys did great. Keaton, everybody, they all did good in the training. It was fantastic to work with them. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad Nathan brought me up in the ring for this, and it was just great to work with them. I enjoyed it. And I also enjoyed getting in the ring with this guy, with Ricky. We did a few things other than the drop kicks. We did a few other things too. I think I was showing him the loop-de-loop thing, and I was doing the backslide with him, show how I did it. And then of course this wrist lock, I showed that with all the adults too. Now you got to remember, these guys, Ricky and all of them in the adult class, they're so much better than me. It was very kind to let Nathan have me show him some things, but make no mistake, they are so good. One of the other moves I show with the adults is I showed the running headlock that I used to do, Dave. Remember, I'd run into the turnbuckles and walk the turnbuckles up and then do a cross body. So I showed them that move, and so they all worked it as good as they can, and they did good. But some of them were like, I gotta say, Crooks, he did that like a champ. Like he got it. Like he won. He did it in one take. Like he seen what we were doing. He seen how I was doing it, and he just nailed it.
Yep.
Crooks is really talented. DD Crooks. To see him in person, I gotta say, they're all talented though. I hate to just point out one person, but they're all good. So yeah, let me get back to our comments and stuff. If you guys have any, I don't know if Gizmo, you guys have any questions or whatever, I'll take them now because otherwise, what else do we got to talk about, Dave?
Well, I was wondering about something. I saw a picture.
Oh, why is Jamie on here? I just realized that.
I have no clue.
Oh well, Jamie's not here. But anyway, what was that?
I'd seen a picture online, in that file that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
3 guys together with championship belts.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't bring that in, did I?
No.
Did you want me to get that?
Yeah, if you got it handy, I was.
Yeah, let me just grab it here. I'll explain what that is. Just give me a second. Just looking for it. I know I have it. Or do I have it? Maybe I don't have it in my arsenal of pictures. I'll have to get it downloaded. It was sent to me on... Let me see. I think I can get it. I know where it is. Here it is. All right, give me a second here.
And I'm going to bring in a comment while you're looking.
Can you bring it in?
Nope, it won't let me bring it in. But
okay, I'll bring it in for you.
Yeah,
now
there
you can talk about it.
Says, thanks, great show. We're happy you had a great time in Ireland.
Yeah, it was great. I'm gonna bring in this picture quick that Dave was talking about. This is an interesting picture. So I got that. I just didn't have it in my. I don't know why I didn't have that downloaded, but I didn't. Now I do. There it is. Okay. Get that in here. All right. And he's talking about this picture right here.
No, not the one in Canary.
No, I know. That's the slideshow still.
Oh, I know.
This picture.
Yep.
And let me get rid of the comment. So we got 3 champions here, and they're all NIPW guys. So the belt there in the middle, that's Jordan Nelson. That's Ben's brother. Older brother by about 6 or 7 years. And he's currently the NIPW junior heavyweight champion. That's the belt Ricky had before.
Okay, so he's the guy that beat Ricky.
He didn't beat Ricky. He's the one that won the scramble match to get the belt from Sage. But anyways, Canary was in the match, but he didn't get that belt because Ben hit him with a crutch. You know the story. The other guy on the right, that's Stevie Fee. And he's very talented too. He's only a year in and he's so good. But anyways, that belt he's got is the LDN Capital Championship. That's a league that's over in London that he also works for now as well. And they put that belt on him, so that's pretty special. And then, of course, there's Canary with the NWF World title. So 3 champions. 3. I think they were very proud. They posted this on the NIPW Instagram channel and stuff. They had it under above there has a champ.
Yep.
Pretty cool. I like that picture. See, the thing is, you got to remember, guys, when me and Canary do forward, you have to remember that we're in character. And so Crusher's going to tell Canary, I'm going to kick his ass and I'm going to beat him. And he's going to say he doesn't want to hurt an old man. And I wouldn't, that's not who we really are. And that's not how we really think about each other. And I have to remind people, the reason I'm reminding you guys that is I've had people comment saying I'm being too hard on Canary.
It's part of the show, though.
Yeah, it's
part of entertaining you, our viewing audience.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not, we're not, when I'm talking to Ricky outside, other than giving each other shit sometimes, but look, we're not like in our characters as we know each other. So he's let me just tell you that, he had sent me a big message, I think Sunday, just wanting to tell me that how much he appreciates the fact that he's got this opportunity to get the belt, and he's really looking forward to making us proud of him and what he wants to put the belt back on the map.
Yep.
So, that means a lot to me. So to know that he feels that way. And let me tell you something, Ben has the same aspirations as Ricky does. And when Ben gets the belt, I think it's only a matter of when, he will do the same. And
the only thing I'm going to say is, we all know the behind the scenes of how wrestling works. They need to let Ricky run with it for a while to establish the title.
Right. Nathan's exact words are, he does not want to, what's the word they use? There's a technical term they use for having belt changes frequently.
Hot potato?
Hot potato, whatever. Hot scotch, whatever. It's something like that. Anyways, he doesn't want to do that with this belt. He wants to give it more prestige. So the title reigns aren't going to be like every other month.
Right.
So yeah, I don't expect it to. That's just behind the scenes talk, guys.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. You never know.
Yeah, we don't know what Nathan has planned for this.
Exactly.
The only thing Crusher has asked is to be kept in the loop and when the title changes hands so he can update the lineage.
Exactly. And I got to say, this is a really good picture of Ricky with the belt. I think that's a good promo picture you can use, like for posters and stuff. That's one of my favorite ones. And I upscaled this for him, so I added proper resolution, so I made it look even better. So it looks even better here. The other one I like is, I'll bring this.
Ring jacket?
Yeah, I'm going to find that one here. That was a good one too. This one. These are good shots for him.
Yep.
And that's just cool to see that belt on him, on a wrestler again.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see it once again in the fold. And so, yeah, here's the thing, guys. If Crusher Crossen goes back to Ireland and goes in the ring again, which, now that I've been in the ring and I know I could do it, and you get the bug even more. And then you have guys like Nathan Hoy saying, you should do a match next time. And you get all this stuff coming. And it makes, I know the
guys blowing the smoke up your backside.
You get the bug. And I'll tell you, like when I was in the ring throwing drop kicks, Mitch Baxter, who used to be a wrestler, hasn't done it in a while. He got the bug. He came in there and threw a drop kick too. So that's how it works. You start getting the bug. Now, Mitch isn't as old as me. You gotta remember, I'm 50, 55, almost 56 years old here, and I'm throwing drop kicks and shit. That's not too many people can say they can do that.
Right.
So I'm pretty, on that. But here's the thing. If I go in there and do this, I'm not going to go in there with ring rust. I would probably get with an indie fed here and do a month or two of training just to brush up.
Yeah.
Then go and work something out. It would be, I would make it presentable. But here's the thing, like, so I don't know if Ricky wants me to talk about this, but I'm going to. Ricky, so Mitch and I had this idea, like, why don't, when I go to shake Canary's hand at the end of the match, why not have Canary turn on me, play that heel that he was at the end of that podcast, really drive it home.
Yeah.
Kick to the nuts, everything, whole 9 yards. So Mitch pitches it, we're out eating. He said, why didn't we maybe do this? Have you do heel turn while we still can, while I'm in town. We could record it right now. Mitch is trying to get Ricky to do it now, even, right? At training tonight. Let's have you do a complete like heel turn. And Ricky just like, well, I think a better way to do this is going to be like, I'll go to Canada, and then when I come back from Canada, we can do such and such with such and such. And he completely erased the idea of hurting Crusher at any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
I looked over at Ricky and I just pat him on the shoulder. I said, "You just got too much love and respect for Crusher." And he started smiling and laughing, and that's exactly what it is. He he respects his elders so much, he just can't see himself being a nasty villain like that. He just can't do it. I don't think you'll ever see Canary Kid versus Crusher in that kind of way.
He can't see himself abusing a senior citizen.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way. But John McCann, different story. John would love to go do something. John's a heel right now. And if he remains heel, man, we could do a really good match.
He could put the old dog down.
Yep. I mean, it would be John was saying the whole time I was at training, doing that stuff. He goes, "Crusher, you can still go." He goes, "Crusher, I want your last match. You got to come back. You got to do it. You can do it. I want that match. You got to come back. I want to do the match." Yeah, he's just in my ear the whole time. What's that?
He wants to old yeller your ass.
Yep. Yeah, and John's the kind of guy that could handle it. Like, I was trying to do one of the things I tried doing with those guys, I tried doing my loop. Remember the loop-de-loo move I would do where they'd try to hip toss me, then I'd stop it, I'd bend them over, I'd put my leg on their head, flip backwards, do the back, the flip, land on my feet, then go into a backslide. And I did it in a way where I did it real fluid. Like I'd just do a nice smooth motion, right?
Yep.
So I was trying to do this, and then with Ben, it's like, "Ben, I need you to flip me." He was expecting me to do all the jump. I said, Ben, fuck, I'm in my mid-50s. You need to lift me up and over. You have to give me the extra push. So he tried as best he could, but he just couldn't quite. I got over, but not like good. But I got the backslide down good with them. John, I was telling John about it. He's like, "Well, let's do it. I'll show you. I can do it for you. I can get you over." So John brought me in there, and he did. John muscled me over. And it was better. If I had a few more practice, if I could just work a day or two, I could have that down, right? I could iron out those bugs. That's just ring rust is all that is. But yeah, John, and I think I did the headlock with John too, where I ran and did my 1, 2, 3 with John. And yeah, John was able to handle that too.
Crusher, before you go back over there, you got to come back to the cities so I can show you something that you can teach them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's much you can teach these guys, but I mean, I had a hard time. But maybe.
I got an interesting pinning combination.
Yeah. I mean, they've seen so much. It's hard to show these guys anything. But certainly might be able to. You never know. They never seen the 1, 2, 3, at least the way I was doing it.
Yep.
So that was new for them. Nathan was familiar with what I was doing. Like he understood it, the move.
Yep.
That was Buck Zumoff's move, remember?
Yep.
That's where I stole it from. I didn't come up with this. But it was a cool move. The other thing I showed, they haven't seen the swan dive. I remember I used to do that. And I'm like, yeah, the swan dive. And I was explaining to John how it works. And then I showed him the clip of me doing it. And he's like, yeah, that looks cool. He goes, I said, John, I add it to your arsenal. Put that in. Bring it back. I don't see anybody doing it anymore. I think that's viable still. And he's like, I think I will. He goes, but it won't look as good as yours. Oh, John's just being too kind.
Yep.
He could make it look better than mine. What is he talking about? But yeah, it was good. It was a fun experience. It was experience right now for me of a lifetime.
Yep.
It really was. I mean, look at it, Dave. We brought the NWF title back into the fold.
Yep.
I got to go to Europe, which I've never been to. I got to meet these guys, Nathan, Ricky, Ben, John, all of them. And they're all just fabulous people, every one of them.
And all this came about due to my crazy idea of having a podcast.
Yeah, and then, just getting connected with these guys.
Yep.
I mean, bringing Ricky on as I'll never forget the pitch Ricky gave me wanting to be the co-host and forward, Sent me this big wall text. I probably still have it, a big text message in the WhatsApp or whatever. Ricky being the salesman he is, selling me on the idea of him being a co-host. And we were still in the studio I had John McCann on that show, and me and John were just bullshitting about, I think, probably talking about what we like to, this is what John and I like to talk about the most, action figures. He collects them, and I like to customize them, and man, we can talk forever on those. But anyways,
One question for you. With mine, did you bring back the NWF National Tag Title?
What's that?
Oh,
with your wrestling figure? No, I haven't done. The belts cost about $50 to have them make them, but I can get them made though. Haven't done that yet though. But no, I was gonna say with I was talking to John, and then Ricky. I said, when he sent me that thing, I said, you know what, Ricky? I know you got the link. Just come into the studio. I'm still talking with John. We'll talk about it. And he popped right in, like he was ready to come in.
Yep.
And boy, we talked forever that night, the three of us. That's why with Keaton as well, because I do the podcast with him, but with John and Ricky, those are the two. I don't want to leave Ben out, but Ben's more newer. But John and Ricky, I kind of always had a really good relationship with those two with this. Yeah. And so that's why if it isn't Canary Kid, it could be John McCann that I get in the ring with. And I could see it working. Ben's just newer. I just, he's kind of, new to me as far as these guys, Right. But Ben's a good guy, and he's I think he's going to get his hands on that belt one of these days. I think that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But new reigning champ, Dave, the Canary Kid.
Yep.
And I got to say, we have to say congratulations to him.
Yep. All you can really say is congratulations, Ricky.
Yep. He earned it, and he worked hard for it. They both did. Both him and Ben put on a hell of a match, and
wear it with pride while you have it.
Yep. And I think let me see here. I think this is probably a more fitting one to put in for what they did. This one. Both Ben and Ricky, and Ricky's about, you're saying, Gizmo, you guys are saying he looks taller than, these guys look taller than me. I don't know I think Ben is more closer to my height, because Ricky's taller than Ben. Ricky's close to 5'10". I'm 5'8". If Ben's taller than me, is not by much. He might be 5'9".
Right.
So we're not too far off. Remember, them boots and stuff, they make him a little taller. So it's kind of deceiving. But yeah, I mean, this match could have went either way with these guys. I mean, either one of these guys would have been, more than capable of being the champ and carrying the legacy of the NWF.
Yep.
Ben's got big plans, just like Ricky has big plans, if he ever gets the belt. So you should have seen the marks. If you think my arm looks kind of marked up there, Ricky had some welts on his, I don't know if it was his chest or his back, were like my arm, but much bigger. Ben had a bunch as well. They really gave it 100% in that match, you guys. They worked hard.
Yep. Well, it's two guys who trust each other.
Yeah, but what they wanted to do is they wanted to make this match something special, not just for us, for the NIPW fans, and for themselves. So they really worked hard. And Ben says it's his greatest match he's ever had, and I think Ricky's saying the same thing. So,
yeah. And all I can say about it, and this is directed at both Ben and Ricky, so Ben, don't think that there's the hate there. Thank you to both of you for putting on the match that you did to carry on the legacy.
Yep, you guys did good, and I for me to come back in the fold as a referee, even,
yeah,
what a thrill. And
thank you to Nathan for doing that.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. He could have said no to this whole idea.
Exactly.
It was Nathan's ultimate decision to allow this to happen. I pitched him, but Nathan had to agree to it. And I'm glad he did. And I've made a lot of new friends, and as a result of it. And I will just say this. I don't think you've seen the last of this relationship with me going over there. I think I will make a return visit, and I probably will get in the ring again. Only this time I won't be a ref.
Yep.
One more time. one more time.
Well, you got to have that retirement match.
The retirement match, yeah.
You know, you got to you got to get in there and see if John Canoli or you're.
You know, the thing is, if Canary ever goes down the southern road again and starts getting out of line, would that be the time for Crusher to come out of retirement and force that kid's ass in the ring? I don't know. But at the same time, for right now, I'm just happy for him.
Exactly.
You know, I don't have to start getting on his ass. But I'm happy for him. I'm very glad that he's got the belt. If Ben would have won it, I'd have been happy for him too. So
exactly. You know, it's a situation that could have gone the other way, and you know what
means a lot to me to see those guys get emotional like they did at the end of the match.
Yeah.
That shows you how much they care about the whole thing.
You know, what was really cool to me, like I said, is you could tell in their body language after the match was over how much it meant to both of them.
Yep.
I mean, the way Ben was going to get out of the ring, Ricky pulled him back.
Yep.
You know, so they could show their mutual respect a little more.
I'll have to ask Ricky next week what he exactly said to him. You know, he was talking to him there.
Yeah.
Curious what he said. You know, that's the kind of stuff the fans like to hear. They want to know, what did you exactly say to him?
Yep.
And I think they would find that very interesting. And, you know, not only that, but I probably should have stayed in there. You know what I should have did? I should have probably raised both their hands, you know, at the end.
Hindsight, you know.
Hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Yep.
The only reason is because that whole thing with them at the end was not planned.
Nope.
Just so you guys know. In fact, Ben was saying originally, thinking he's just not going to shake his hand and walk out on him and be pissed.
Yeah.
He's actually talking like that. So one of the reasons I kind of skedaddled out of the ring is because I didn't want to be in the ring for any of that, if that happened.
Right.
But instead, they just went with the moment. And they felt that was the right thing to do.
Correctly.
Well, I think Ben was just too happy, you know, like the happy tears again. He was just too happy for the moment and just he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That was really Ben's call. Ben was the one that was going to go one way or the other, and he decided to go that way. It was just how his emotions were flowing in him. Look, guys, this is all a work, but these emotions are real.
Yeah. I mean,
remember that.
Remember that. Times where people win titles and they're emotional in the ring when they get it.
Yeah.
And, you know, some marks, we'll call them marks, say, you know, why? You know you're going to get it. Why get emotional over it? It's the simple fact you strive for something your entire life. And when you achieve the level that you think you want to hit, it overcomes you.
And just think, Ricky can now say he's been a world champion. Not a lot of indie guys can say that.
You got to rephrase that. He's been the NIPW junior heavyweight champion. Now he can say he's been a world heavyweight champion.
Right.
You know, he can add that to his resume.
And people are going to say, just like Ricky said in this promo he put out today with Johnny, you know, he says, you know, you might look at me and think 160 pounds, 5'10", and I'm a world heavyweight champion. Ricky says, just take 15 or 20 minutes to look at what I do, see how I operate in the ring, and you'll see why I'm a world heavyweight champion.
Yep.
And he's absolutely right. He is so good. And there's a reason why I picked these guys to do this match. I, could have went anywhere.
Yeah.
I could have pitched a lot of organizations to do this. I picked them because I just know the caliber they're at over there. And honestly, bringing the title to Europe, it signifies more of the world title status.
Right.
So that there's a lot of factors, but certainly, I think they're going to do great with this belt. And it's we'll see where it goes. But the fact that we can say we have a current NWF World Champion, it was kind of funny when we did Kayfabe with Keaton show. Keaton asked me, who would you put on the NWF Mount Rushmore? And I said, well, I said, do I have to put myself on it? And he's like, you have to be on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are the...
Yeah, I guess. So anyways, the other three, the first name that came to mind was Slick Steenerson.
Yeah, I can see that one.
I think that's a no-brainer. People don't realize, we don't see a lot of Steenerson on NWF Rewind so much to talk about him, but you got to understand, I wish I had our arm rematch, that NCWA show that Steve recorded over by accident.
Yep.
Because that match there was so good. All I got is the clip of me slamming Steenerson now. It's the only thing that survived. That was a hell of a good match. That was the first one that we did that on in front of a big crowd, but Steenerson was so good.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy I'd have to put on there is Kelsey, just because he might have been a good bumper, but man, this character, charisma and everything, he was the art of a character.
And I mean, another name I was thinking, and he's going to say he doesn't deserve it, but your counterpart in creating all this, Charlie.
Oh, Luxury Lane. How could I forget Luxury? That fourth position could be Dixie Dave could be there too.
Yeah.
Well, for everything you've done with Rewind. Keeping the NWF name in the fold. But Ace, Mr. X. I know we got our things with Steve, but the character Mr. X. I'm talking characters.
Yeah.
Mr. X over Pretty Boy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, and then, so we're talking, that fourth position is just hard. But then as we're talking about this, Ricky was watching, he's like, I have to ask, why is Canary Kid not in this conversation for that Mount Rushmore? He's got a point. He just won the belt. So I guess he could be concluded in that as well.
Well, Ricky, no offense, but you've just been entered into the NWF.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see you break my record of holding that belt the longest. That'll give you some ammunition.
Yep.
Or try to get it 5 or 6 times. I warned Ricky. I said, Ricky, if you get close to my 5-time record, I will fly my ass over there and you will get in the ring with me, whether you like it or not. I can't let that record get beat. You know that.
I honestly believe that he wouldn't do it just out of respect for you.
You're probably right. The Ricky Henry wouldn't let it happen. Canary Kid character would love to do it though. But...
Oh yeah. Canary Kid character would love to. He'd love to 16, 17 time.
I don't think you guys realize just how much of a good guy Ricky is out of the character. I mean, he's such a well-respected young guy. I mean, all the guys think highly of him there. He's just a good, he has a good head on his shoulders, and Ben too. All of them.
One of these days I'm gonna have to drop into forward and actually say hi to Ricky.
Yep.
I mean, we've had multiple times where we've thought about doing it or tried to do it. And...
Well, we're going to switch to a new streaming platform. I think our next forward show will still be EVMux. Okay. But after that, we're going to switch to StreamYard. It's a different platform. It's going to kind of look the same, but it's going to be a little different. And this new platform is going to be much more smoother.
StreamYard is what we started on.
Yep.
And then we thought EVMux would be a better program to go to, but...
It's causing problems, especially getting people. And sometimes in Europe, the whole EVMux is blocked on the entire provider, so they can't get in.
Right.
I can't have that. We can't have that.
We've had people here have trouble getting in.
Yep. Yeah, we can't have that. So that's going to have to change.
Overseas, it's here in the States that people have had trouble getting in, so...
Yep. Dave, I do want to say before we sign off, because we kind of went almost 2 hours now. I am over 2 hours, actually.
Yep.
I want to say what is coming up on our next shows.
Yep.
So let's take a look here. What is this? Hang on, I just want to see what this is. Oh, that's that picture. Okay. Those portraits. Okay, so on Sunday's show coming up on Kayfabe with Keaton, we got a show this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
Archie Stubbs, wrestler, APS Toy Company, British wrestling collector. I don't know a whole lot about this person, but Keaton's really excited for this. So I think this should be a very interesting conversation. I'll be joining in on that, most likely. And this show will be on our StreamYard platform. So this will be the first show we do on StreamYard.
Okay.
So yeah, that's coming up. And then, like I said, the next one with me and Ricky, this is going to be Ricky's last show with me for 6 weeks. It's going to be in Canada.
Yep.
And what it is NWF title match and trip to Ireland recap, Crusher Crossen and the Canary Kid. We don't have a guest. It's just, we're going to celebrate Ricky on this one.
You know, Crusher, out of respect, you need to change that photo of Ricky now.
Oh, I do. And I'm going to have to. One thing that me and Ricky were talking about doing the whole trip out there is getting a picture just specifically with us together for this.
Right.
And we forgot to do it. We got every other picture. But I do have that picture there you see in the middle there of John, me, and Ricky.
Yeah.
Well, I might be able to fix that up. And I'm sorry, John, I got to get ready on this. And I might be able to make that look like just me and Ricky. And I could probably make that work. But first of all, I kept telling Ricky, bring your NWF Forward shirt. He forgets it. And then he couldn't find it. And so, yeah. I tell you what, if his head wasn't attached, he'd lose that too. But so Crusher versus Canary, you'll see the video clips. You'll see the drop kicks we did with each other. I gave him a drop kick. He gave me a drop kick. We got that all on video. We got video of the training sessions there of NAPW training. We'll show you that. And of course, the title match, the one that you haven't seen yet, the professional one with the 2 cameras and the commentary and all that we will see next week.
And the most important part of the show, celebrating Ricky as our champion.
Yep. It'll be the first time that we'll be able to he and I will be able to talk to each other in the public about everything. The match, him coming full circle, doing the right thing. Ricky said he doesn't really want to be character on this show, so we probably won't be doing Crusher Crossen and Canary Kid character stuff, but we are going to be talking, candidly about everything. So that's what's coming up on the next Forward, and that's going to be a week from tomorrow at our normal Forward time, which will be 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. over there in the UK.
Yep.
So that's the plan. Should be a good show.
And then in a couple weeks, we got our show.
Yeah, I don't have the thumbnail for it, but we do have a rewind coming up in 2 weeks from now. Usually I put that up on the Forward show, so I'll have it figured out. What did I say it was going to be? Well, if we seen 41, I think it's a Fred Moore show.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those. Those are still kind of rough too. Everything, once we do the first Armory card, the wrestling starts taking a U-turn. Starts getting better. So, all right. Well, if there's any other since there's no other comments, I say we probably good time to sign off. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. If you're watching this in replay, you got to join us live. We take in all comments.
Viewers.
What's that?
We acknowledge our viewers when they comment.
We do. And by the way, a little announcement on Forward. I still am waiting for confirmation from Nathan, but I think what we're going to start doing with Forward, right now it streams live on our channel and Keaton's channel. I think going forward, we're going to start streaming on NIPW's channel as well.
Oh, okay.
So Forward will be on all 3. Rewind's only on our channel, though.
Right.
As it should be. But this will help their view count. They need to get their view count up because they're already monetized on the first phase. They need to get monetized on the second phase. So they need watch hours. So
right.
That would help them. All right. So that's it, guys. thanks for tuning in. It was great. I enjoyed watching the old show, and I'm really looking forward to next week to be able to talk to our new NWF World Champion, Canary Kid. It's going to be a great conversation.
And you will see Dixie Dave back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks with Dave, and then also I'll be on with Keaton this Sunday for a great show with him as well. So we'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time we're live.
Have a good one.